on to the kingdom which we have to study in today's class, and that is kingdom Plantae. Now, what is kingdom Plantae? Kingdom Plantae, it consists of all the plants which are on earth, which are on our planet. Some of the characteristic features, if we talk about kingdom Plantae, what do you think? Are they prokaryotes or eukaryotes? Kingdom Plantae. Prokaryotes.
Okay.
Kingdom Plantae is prokaryote. Jamal says eukaryotes. Hamza is saying prokaryotes. तो इसका मतलब ये है कि जो बच्चे prokaryotes कह रहे हैं, up till now they are still confused between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Is that so? Are you still confused between prokaryotes and eukaryotes?
Yes,
Okay.
I think they are eukaryotes.
Okay, you are saying they are eukaryotes. Correct. Beta, prokaryotes are those organisms which are unicellular, and eukaryotes consist of those organisms which are multicellular. तो prokaryote या kingdom Monera में तो हमारे पास सिर्फ bacteria और blue green algae थे. If you remember, we had done it yesterday. And whereas all other kingdoms, they belong to the kingdom eukaryote, the super kingdom eukaryote. Okay, so considering plants, they are also eukaryotes. Now if we talk about the structure of plants, plant cell padhkar aaye hain na grade 5 mein. So let's talk about the structure of plants. They have a cell wall. What is making plants different from animals? They have a cell wall.
Chloroplast.
Exactly, chloroplast. They possess chloroplast. Chloroplasts are those packets which contain chlorophyll, and chlorophyll is that green pigment which helps the plant to photosynthesize. When plants can photosynthesize, we term them as autotrophs. That means that they can make their own food by the help of this green pigment that is called chlorophyll. Then if we talk about the structure of plants, they do possess a cell wall, they do possess a cell membrane. So both cell walls and cell membranes are present in the plant cells. Chloroplasts are present in the plant cells. There are vacuoles for storage of food. So what makes the vacuoles of plant cells different from animal cells? The vacuoles in the plant cells are comparatively larger in size, whereas the vacuole in the animal cells are very smaller in size. Okay, so plant cells have vacuoles, large vacuoles. Plants have cell walls. Plants have chloroplasts containing chlorophyll. Then plants are non-motile. When I use this term non-motile, this means that they cannot locomote. Okay, they cannot locomote. लोकोमोशन याद है, मूवमेंट फ्रॉम वन प्लेस टू अनदर. तो कभी आपने देखा है एक प्लांट, आज नीम ट्री यहाँ पर ग्रो हुआ था, कल वो गुलशन इकबाल में जाके ग्रो हो गया? नो. सो प्लांट्स कैन नॉट locomote. Non-motile means anything which can not move. We can move, we are motile. अच्छा, अब इस motility से एक चीज जो जहन में आ रही है, yesterday when I gave you the homework, the flow chart, एक flow chart था 5 kingdoms का. So Mahad just pointed out one mistake in that flow chart, and I am very surprised कि किसी और ने वो mistake
Animalia में non-motile लिखा हुआ है. Non-motile लिखा हुआ है.
Okay, Ahmed Raza, you also pointed it out. Okay, thank you. So in that last kingdom Animalia, in that flow chart, the last kingdom was kingdom Animalia, और उस flow chart में वहाँ लिखा हुआ था non-motile organisms, because when we'll do kingdom Animalia, आपको मैं बताऊंगी कि some are non-motile organisms as well. So kingdom Animalia is usually motile. Organisms can move except for a few. तो उस flow chart में क्या correction करनी है? सिर्फ non-motile को few non-motile कर देना है. ठीक है? Okay, then method of reproduction. Characteristic features में method of reproduction भी आ जाता है. तो usually plants में sexual reproduction होती है या asexual reproduction होती है?
Asexual.
Ahmed Zain is saying asexual and Ahmed Raza is saying sexual. So Imogen, why do you think usually plants are going through asexual reproduction, जबकि आपको पता भी है कि
ओ मैम दोनों होती है
दोनों होती हैं, but mostly sexual reproduction
Sexually.
is occurring. Yes, Ayan, that's correct. Sexual reproduction is occurring because we have studied in grade 8 about the structure of flower, then the process of pollination and the process of fertilization in detail. You should know that sexual reproduction mostly occurs in plants because fusion of male and female gametes are taking place, and you know where the male gametes are produced and you know where the female gametes are produced. So where are the male gametes of plants produced?
Anther.
And
Anther, that's correct. And where are the
Ovary.
female gametes of plants produced?
ovary.
That's correct. That's correct. Okay. So basically, usually the mode of reproduction is sexual, but some of the plants reproduce asexually as well. They follow the autotrophic mode of nutrition. Why? Because they can manufacture their own food, and they have different organelles for anchor purpose, like for anchorage. Roots are there, they provide support. Then they have different organelles for reproduction, and they have different organelles like chloroplast for photosynthesis. That was about the characteristic features of plants. Now next slide, we have the classification of this kingdom Plantae. Now if we classify this kingdom, this is a vast kingdom. How can we classify this kingdom? First of all, plants could either be seedless plants or the plants which bear seed, which have seeds in them. If we talk about seedless plants, we have bryophytes in the seedless plants, and we have phylloxenophytes in the seedless plants. सीडलेस प्लांट्स में हमारे पास ब्रायोफाइट्स हैं और फिलोसिनोफाइट्स हैं. Bryophytes की example है mosses and liverworts, whereas in the class of phylloxenophytes we have ferns. If we talk about the second class, that is the class which bears seeds, so then that class could be further subdivided into two: gymnosperms and angiosperms. Gymnosperms are what are gymnosperms and what are angiosperms? We are going to do it in detail in the next slide. Angiosperms की class can further be subdivided into monocots and dicots. तो शुरू से शुरू करते हैं. First of all, seedless plants and seed bearing plants. If seedless, bryophytes and phylloxenophytes. If seed bearing, angiosperms and gymnosperms. If angiosperms, then monocots or dicots. Clear? Yes, yes.
And if they do not have the seeds, so how they reproduce?
If they do not have seeds, they reproduce asexually by spores. Spores are present. S-P-O-R-E-S. Okay. Now bryophytes. Our first class of seedless plants is bryophytes. Now bryophytes की क्या characteristic है? They are non-vascular plants. When I say non-vascular, this means that they do not have any vascular system. Vascular system is the system that is needed for the transport of materials, or vascular system is basically the transport system. तो transport system में कौन से दो cells involved होते हैं plants के?
Xylem and phloem.
Excellent. So these bryophytes, they lack a vascular system. They do not have xylem and phloem. Other than the vascular system, they do not even have differentiated plant body parts like the leaf structures and the stem structure. So bryophytes, first of all, they lack a vascular system. They are non-vascular plants. They have like the leaves are there if we talk about mosses and liverworts, but not like the leaves of the usual plants. Then They are found in both land and aquatic environment. If they are found in both land and aquatic environment, scientists have given them a term, and they say that this subclass is the amphibians of the plant kingdom. Okay, now what are the plants below liverworts? Here, these are liverworts. You can see in the picture, I have attached 3 of the plants belonging to class liverworts. No need to do any further detail of liverworts. Just आपको bryophytes की characteristics याद रखनी है. And these are the mosses. You must have seen mosses. कभी रास्ते से गुजरे होंगे तो जो झाड़ियों जैसे plants लगते हैं, those you can say are mosses. Okay, next class is phylloxenophytes or the ferns. We take ferns in this class. The ferns, they are they are plants that reproduce by spores, and they are vascular plants. That means इनके पास beta students are still entering. I don't, how do you pronounce diolites? Umar, what are you saying? Beta, it was dicots, not diolites, Umar. Okay. Acha ji. Phylloxenophytes, then they have well differentiated structures such as the roots, the leaves, and they have a vascular system as well. If we talk about the differences, I guess last 10 minutes are left and we have to complete it. If we talk about the differences between bryophytes and phylloxenophytes, so bryophytes are non-vascular, phylloxenophytes or ferns are vascular plants. The body of the bryophytes, it's not differentiated into root, stems and leaves, so we call the body as a thalloid. Whereas if we talk about ferns, their body is differentiated into roots, stems and leaves. अच्छा, अब ब्रायोफाइट्स के पास ट्रू रूट्स नहीं है, but they have root like structure for the purpose of anchorage or for the purpose of support, and those false roots are known as rhizoids. Examples of bryophytes are mosses and liverworts and hornworts, and examples of phylloxenophytes are जी बेटा. Ahmed, are you saying something?
Oh, ma'am.
No, miss.
Okay, okay. Acha, difference is clear. Next slide. These are ferns. The pictures which I have taken a picture from the book, so it might not be that clear, but I hope you can see it, that different types of ferns can be seen on your screens. Next comes gymnosperms. Okay, now these are again vascular plants. Gymnosperms have well differentiated plant body, and they bear seeds, so they are in the class of seed bearing plants. This term,
Evergreen.
yes, this term gymno means naked and sperma means seeds. So gymnosperms are those plants which have exposed seeds or naked seeds. Okay, so naked seeds or exposed seeds means that the seeds of the gymnosperms are not enclosed within a fruit. उनके seeds बाहर होते हैं, exposed होते हैं. Examples of gymnosperms are conifers, the spruce trees, the cedar tree, the pine tree. They are all gymnosperms. Please turn off your videos till I ask you to turn them on. Okay, next class we have angiosperms. Angiosperms are again in the class of seed-bearing plants, and we call them as flowering plants. Their seeds are not naked like gymnosperms. Their seeds are enclosed within fruits. They have well-differentiated plant body. They are again vascular plants with all the vascular system present, xylem and phloem present. They produce flowers. As I say that they are flowering plants, so definitely they produce flowers, and they can be further subdivided into monocots and dicots. Monocots or dicots के differences हम detail में in our upcoming lessons we'll do them. So right now just remember what are the monocots and the dicots. They are belonging to the class of kingdom Plantae, which is Angiosperma or flowering plants. Okay, here in the previous slide you could see monocots. Here meadowgrass, daffodils, all these are all monocots. And if we talk about dicots, we have poppy, we have buttercup, we have different shrubs in dicots, and we have different trees in the dicots. That was all about kingdom Plantae. Again, let's quickly revise kingdom Plantae को. हमने क्या क्या किया है kingdom Plantae में? We have two major classes, seed bearing and seedless. Seedless में Bryophytes and Felicynophytes. Bryophytes में we have mosses and liverworts. Felicynophytes में we have ferns. If we talk about the seed-bearing ones, we have Gymnosperms and Angiosperms. Gymnosperms have naked seeds. Their seeds are exposed. Angiosperms are flowering plants and their seeds are enclosed within a fruit. This classification, monocot and dicot, is on the basis of seed leaves. Mono means one, di means two. Monocot and cotyledons means seed leaf. So monocot means one seed leaf.